Why did I come to belong to? Because I'm a queer.
I was born into what's considered a male body, but I am a woman, and that's what's most important to me.
Coming out was a very difficult thing for me. I came out at about the age of, I think I was about 15, and it was tough because my parents didn't really get what like non-binary was or what they them pronouns were.
Pronouns are how you refer to someone. So most people would use she, her, or he, him pronouns. And some people that are non-binary don't feel comfortable using what they would see as the binary pronouns, so he or she, because they're not a boy or a girl. So instead they would use other more neutral pronouns like they, them.
It took a while for me to like work out that I liked women. And when I made this big thing in my head about telling my mum, and she was like, I know. And I was like, you could have told me.
People act like it's a huge change for them when you ask them to think of you differently. So I think that's why anyone coming out can have a bad reaction, because you've skewed people's view of who you are.
All of these feelings I were having, no one around me knew what they were like. So when I Googled gay women, it's what I Googled. And this belong to was the first thing that came up, luckily. Other stuff was there, but you know what I mean.
Sex and gender, I feel like, are separate issues. So like sex would be, oh, I have a vagina, and oh, that person has a penis, or vice versa.
Gender's a tricky one.
Gender, it's a broad spectrum. Like there's like many different genders than just male and female. I identify as female, but I know people who identify as different genders, like non-binary or gender fluid.
Somebody who's transgender doesn't identify with the gender that they were given at birth.
While gender shouldn't be tied to things like, clothes and stuff, I just identify as what society sees as a girl. I'm not a guy. I'm definitely a girl, and that's just the way I am.
A binary is the idea that something has to be one thing or the other. And people talk about gender as a binary, but that's not true.
I'm non-binary. I'm not a girl or a boy, which most people think is really odd.
If someone is non-binary, then they're non-binary. It's not a thing that, oh, well, they don't, like, their body doesn't say that. I feel like that's a stupid answer.
And I think a lot of people kind of don't believe that that's a thing because they exist on one end of that spectrum and that's what they know. That's the kind of experience that they know, but there are experiences outside of our own experience.
For me, I just feel like it's a lack of education. That's why I say to them, you're just not educated on the subject. I feel like if these people were educated on the subject, they'd understand a bit more and say it's not just a phase, because it really isn't.
I remember being really uncomfortable with being called she, and I remember that my bedroom was bright pink at the time, because when I was 9, that was what I wanted. And then I just remember not wanting that anymore.
If we paint the world the way that we usually do, which is just, a complete binary of you are a girl or a boy, you like pink or blue, and princesses and football, and you have that for your entire life, then someone who doesn't fit into that feels left out. But if then you say, now there's a princess footballer, you've got someone who's both, and then someone will identify with that. So I think language and representation is really important, because it just helps people feel like themselves and feel included.
Once I found out about the term non-binary, it all just started to make sense. And here I am now, and I can talk about it openly, and I'm really proud of it.